Okay, thank you everyone for your patience. We'll begin our webinar today. One moment, I want to share my camera. At least Roger and I will share our cameras for a few moments. As much as I'd love to have you see us all, I think the data that we'll be presenting is of more value. So again, we have a nice cross-reference of industries. I see we have medical, we have legal, we have commercial, we have mortgage, we have healthcare, and as well as title industries, real estate, and construction. So again, thank you all so much for attending today. We're going to try to make this webinar about you and what you can use, what you can utilize, not so much about us. And a lot of the information that we would be presenting today is generic to the industry. So it's not just why secured signing is the best, which honestly we are, but why you should be using remote online notarization and signatures in your practice, business, or enterprise. So with that said, I'm going to turn my camera off so that you can see more of the presentation and proceed to the next slide. And we're going to actually, at the end of each slide, we'll open up the audience for some questions regarding the previous slide. We do have 1 hour and we'll try to stay on track. And so today, myself, I'm Bill Gimbel, Vice VP of Business Development here at the global company Secured Signings. I've been involved in the notary dispatch management business for 20+ years. Have managed over 5 million transactions. Am in on the various boards of affiliated compliance companies, industries, such as MESMO, PRIA, National Association of Secretaries of State, and a keynote speaker at the National Association of Secretaries of State, as well as the National Notary Association. So I've been around a long time and have the gray hair to prove it. And Roger, if you chime in, Roger has an equal amount of experience, but most of it is directed specifically to financial services market. So Roger, if you chime in, please.
Sure, thank you, Bill. So happy to have everybody attending today. Really appreciate that. So a little bit about my background. I've been in the notary business since about 2004, working for, at the time, a top 10 lender and managing probably about, in the paper world, about 2,000 signings a month. I saw my first RON system platform probably around 2005, and it's taken us many years to get ready for where we're at today. So it's a very exciting that we're here today talking to you about secured signing and our remote online notarization, as well as our e-signature solution. So thank you all for attending.
Okay, thank you for that, Roger. And one thing I did want to mention with regards to Ron, that our team did their first remote online notarization transaction in July of 2013 and have been continuously performing them since. So again, there's a wealth of experience. So now just a bit about secured signing. We're a global company. We offer services in 45 countries with server farms on 4 continents. We are ISO, the International Standards Organization, 27111 approved with regards to security. We're also HIPAA approved for executing medical documents, and of course, MESMO approved for executing home loan documents online. And how we stand out, we really differentiate ourselves with regards to our white label process. And we'll go into that further in a minute. And then we're going to go into what really RON, what the value of RON is, particularly as it relates to the enterprise market. Roger is going to give us an update on the securitization, the Secure Notarization Act, that allows for institution of remote online notarization as a federal initiative in all states, and the 5 key reasons for RON, remote online notarization, and then how Secured Signing's platform protects and assists you in building your business. And again, it's your business we want to build, because as you grow, we grow. Again, on to the benefits of remote online notarization for both you and your clients, and then on to a brief demonstration. And of course, we're going to field questions throughout the agenda. So let's get on to the next slide and we'll get into some of the meat of this. Secured signing. We offer, of course, a remote online notarization platform as well as a very robust e-signature platform. We have every year since 2017 been rated in the top 3 best digital signing platforms worldwide. So honestly, we compete head-to-head against DocuSign and Adobe, to be very candid with you. And as the slide points out, security is in our name. Again, as mentioned earlier, we're HIPAA, ISO, and MISMO certified. We also comply with CCPA, the California Consumer Protection Act, ingredients with regards to protection of consumer data. We also comply with the European, of course, GDPR rules, because in fact, of course, we are a global company. We do have offices in New Zealand, Auckland, in Australia, in United Kingdom, and in the US. One in California, where I'm at, and one in Florida, where Roger is at. So we get around the globe. Okay, how we stand out, and we're going to be very candid about this. You know, we're quite familiar with the other platforms out there, so we're going to try to be very succinct, brief, but informative about how we and what we provide. And I think one of our outstanding features, as Roger mentioned in his Vita, is the experience we have in the market. We have 20+ years each experience in the market. We know what goes on in the paper world, be that the legal world. Matter of fact, Roger and I were just at the ABA Technology Conference in Chicago, the first of last month, excuse me. Excellent meeting. We have experience in the mortgage, having conducted literally millions of signings. In the medical market, which is actually larger than the mortgage market. In the construction market, which is also extremely large. And we know what happens in the field. So we've taken that knowledge and transported it onto the platform in an electronic market, so that if you have a problem online that would have occurred in, of course, in the wet world, we have the accommodation electronically to facilitate the solution to that problem. So to quote the Helen Reddy song, we have the wisdom born of pain. So we've experienced the issues, the problems, the challenges, the connectivity issues in the market, and I think that's the experience that we bring to the market, is actually in the trench experience. We're not a technology company or a financial company that got involved in the notary market. So I think that's one of our key features. And it's the depth of this product knowledge implemented through functionality with innovative technology that allows us to create solutions. We are listening to our customers on a daily basis, and we can implement special designs, special APIs, special workflow initiatives that suit their specific industry and their specific need. And that's where the human touch comes in. We actually even have phone numbers that you can call and we will answer. I know that's kind of old fashioned, but then so are we in that regard. At least Roger on it. Been around a while. So those are some of the standout features from an operational perspective that we bring to the market. We've been there, we've done that. So please call on us, because one of our biggest challenges, to be very honest with you, is our clients in the market don't know what questions to ask, which is normal. So we have actually a spreadsheet we can send you of the key ingredients with regards to both compliance and workflow that you can use to compare various platforms one to the other. And again, in a compliance environment and in a workflow environment. It's not stacked in our favor. It's just, this is what occurs out there, and can that platform handle it? So we'd be happy to provide that to anyone that requests it.
So Bill, I just want to add to your comments here, because I think you're spot on. And you know, one of the things that we really try to accomplish with that human touch is that given the fact that we are global in nature, we really do offer at least, what do you say, 18 hours of human touch a day, which is a lot different than a lot of the organizations that shut down at 5 or 6 o'clock at night and deal directly with email. So I just think it goes to show that we're listening to our customers, we're listening to everyone out there that says we need help, we need support. This is still a growing industry, and everyone's trying to understand how RON works, and then needing that support about a platform, an easy to use platform, but still, if you're not very tech savvy, the opportunity to speak with somebody, send requests via email, you know you're going to be getting a response from us.
Okay, and we've gone over 3 or 4 slides, so I'm going to pause for a moment here. Does anyone in the audience have any questions? Either you can shout them out and I'll unmute you so that you can do that, or put it in the chat and we'll address that throughout the session.
And Bill, I don't see any chats coming in yet, but probably move ahead and we'll address them as they come in.
Let's move on. Okay, Roger, you did an update recently on the Federal Secure Notarization Act that has been approved and one in the House and now is on to the Senate. Can you give us an update and kind of the ramifications of this and how it will affect our clients?
You know, this is really a major milestone for us and for anybody in the digital signature and RON space. And the idea behind this really is allowing for documents to be digitally signed and then filed electronically with those local county courthouses or wherever they need to be filed. So whether it's in the mortgage space, working with the secondary market, or you're dealing with affidavits, documents like that in the legal space, it gives the opportunity now where in the past, everybody was really concerned about a wet signature on a document versus a digitally signed document. I kind of like to go back to the days when there was a fax machine, right? And again, showing my age, but there was a time where fax signatures were not valid. And then all of a sudden you could start to fax documents back and forth. But this brings us into the technology age where we have the opportunity now to streamline our business processes, get those documents signed and notarized electronically through a means that is secure and with validation of who that person is that's signing those documents, and then being able to distribute those accordingly. You know, we expected this bill to pass back in last year, and we were very excited as it was moving through the various channels. And you're right, Bill, it's in the House, it's supposed to be moving on to the Senate. There's a lot of push, there's a lot of talk about this, and we hope to get this, you know, passed through. We know we've had some outlier states that have not really joined forces yet, such as California, but we see that that's going to be changing. We know it's going to change in the future, regardless, because this is the way of the industry is going. It's just like being on a cell phone or you know, doing things on remotely. This is another avenue for various organizations to streamline their process, to get those documents signed and deliver them back in a speedy and timely fashion, and then obviously getting those documents filed. So you're probably reading this slide here, and I think what's really important about that is moving to a remote online notarization, and I'll repeat what Representative Armstrong said. Remote online notarization offers consumers a convenient way to safely and securely complete documents. You know, that's why the name secured signing is there, is because we believe in security. We are audited all the time from governmental agencies to local agencies to know that this platform is going to be secure. So we're supporting the Notarization Act, of course, but because we believe that this is the direction that the industry is heading. So I would definitely keep an eye out for this. Things are going to continue to evolve throughout this year. And as soon as this passes, be ready, because the opportunities for everyone here to grab a hold of this and move forward with a proven provider like us opens up the doors for opportunities.
Thank you for that, Roger. Okay, let's move into, and just one thing to add to Roger's presentation there with regards to the Secure Act is right now, I believe it's 41 states allow their state's notaries as an official act to perform remote online notarization transactions. We meet all the requirements associated with those 41 states provisions. The other thing to understand is that any document properly executed in its jurisdiction is accepted by any and all other jurisdictions. We have many large companies, very large law firms that do all the notarizations out of a main office. Their branch or satellite offices will submit requests to the main office, who is located in one state, And the notaries in that office do all the filing, all the notarizations for all their offices in the US and all their clients globally, as you can sign a document regardless of where the signer is located. So we'll go into a bit more of that and how that utility benefits you in a moment. But the 5 reasons why in-house and corporate notaries are using our platform, both remote online notarization and e-signatures, is number 1, security. Our advanced PKI technology uses PKI certs to apply the signer signature. It's not just a graphic representation, but it's a PKI X509 digital signature certificate that we use to bind the signature of the signer to the document. And another key element, and this is maybe a little bit in the weeds, but it is a big issue and will become a big issue if the document execution is ever challenged. And let me just show you what that is. I'm going to bring up a document here. If you have document, let's say you have a 140-page document, 20 signatures, 5 notarizations. One of the benefits of our internal X509 in combination with the notary's X509, if that's required, is that you can apply multiple signatures to a document, both from the signer side and from the notary side, and they will all vet to the certificate authority as being valid. Let me show you that. So here we have a document that has 2 notarial events associated with it. Let's click on the first one. So you click on the notary signature, and you can, it's called LTV, long-term validation, determine if any changes were made to that document since this document was notarized. And you can see that the signature is valid and the document has not been modified since the signature was applied. Let's go down to the next notary signature. Click on the signature or the stamp, and it will also let you know that no changes have been made to this native document since it was signed and notarized by the notary. Now, this is extremely crucial if you get into a dispute with regards to repudiation. This will stand up and prove through LTV that anyone that receives this document and opens it in any PDF reader can determine if any changes have been made to that document since it was notarized. Now, let me show you the difference. We have another document here that does not provide that feature. So if you click on the notary's signature, it says it's invalid. This document has been corrupted or altered since this signature was applied. But if you click on the last element within that chain, nothing has been changed since this signature or seal was applied. So if you have 45 pages prior to this one, you're not sure about it. So it took a fair amount of technology to be able to apply multiple signatures and multiple notarial events and stamps and seals to create this validation seal. So that's, with regards to technology, that's one of our advantages that many of the law firms and many of the financial institutions really appreciate. Okay, let's go back to our slide. As mentioned earlier, we are a ISO 27001 approved company, type 2, meaning we are audited routinely. We just finished one a few months back. And we are in the midst, because the US is familiar with SOC 2, which isn't honestly quite as robust as ISO, but we are in the midst of taking that certification as well. But that certification, just so you know, takes about 6 months. It's really a thorough process. And with regards to utilization of our platform and the global accessibility of our platform, we have the capability of verifying for identity over 4,000 government-issued picture IDs from over 200 countries. So if your client is overseas or you have an overseas client or office, we can still verify their identity. We're the very first company to be awarded compliance to the new New York State security provisions with regards to a platform must supply evidence of proof of compliance with NIST standard IAL2 for security. And we do that by having both knowledge-based authentication, validation of the document as being genuine itself, a biometric match to the selfie taken live in the session to that of the approved document that was verified, and biometrically is matched to the picture on that document. The last step is what the traditional Notary knows as the stare and compare process, whereby the notary can look at the ID that was validated, the picture that was taken compared to an enlarged picture of the front of the ID showing the biometric match. Then they have a screen that shows the actual signer and they can hold up the ID. So there's really 4 or 5 steps from SMS text authorization to a validated number through the traditional stare and compare of a notary to validate who that signer is. And another element that we add to this mix, and it was really took hold at the AV American Bar Association conference in Chicago, is our e-signature platform allows you to send an email out to a client just to be signed, not necessarily notarized, but just to be signed. And when that client opens the email, they click on their signature, their camera opens. They are given a liveness command, such as bring your chin to your chest, your left ear to your left shoulder. A 10-second loop is recorded, and then that allows the signer to sign that document. Once it's signed, both the recording and the signed document are returned to the issuer at no additional cost. It's the same cost of just having it sent out and signed. So this proves who was behind the mouse, a very key feature. And again, at the ABA conference, it was accepted tremendously with a great response. Streamlined workflow. We have APIs, SDKs to allow you to automate the process where the documents just end up in a signing environment with very little data entry. We integrate through simple APIs that are published currently on our website. So this allows you to, at a minimal effort, reduce FTE cost, create a document and send it out for signing with very little manual human interface. So that's a time saver and a revenue saver as well. Additionally, we have the ability to read smart docs or tags on your document. So we can read your tags and through our API process and through our smart doc process, determine what element goes at what spot on behalf of who. So we can have signer 1, signer 2, signer 3, signer 4, the notary, the witness 1, witness 2, all pre-tagged. So when you enter the names of the signer 1, signer 2, witness 1, witness 2, it will auto-populate in the document. Again, a huge time saver. So this efficiency really streamlines your document management process, saving time, internal FTE resources, so you can focus on what really matters, which, as it mentions in the slide, growing your business. The last 5th reason, platform depth. We started out as an e-signature platform, and again, we're rated in the top 3 globally. We have e-signature, a very robust program, which includes calculations. It includes logical associated events such as if this, then this, assignment of various values for applications. In our remote online notarization platform product, we also offer REN, which is only popular in a few states. That's remote ink notarization. And we also offer in-person electronic notarization, where essentially you're meeting with the client, but everything is executed on your computer. So it's an interim step between paper and remote. So we offer all those modalities with regards to the reasons why a client or an enterprise would want to go with secured signing and want to go into the RON environment. And there's a few more features in the next slide that support this evaluation, support this proposition. So Roger, anything that I missed?
I think you're spot on there. We do have a question here that we'd address here because it seems to make sense on the security. The question was, does each individual notary have to have their own digital certificate, or can it be used, or does the company offer one?
The answer to that is depends on your Secretary of State's requirements. If your state does not require you to have one, you can at no cost, of course, use ours. But if you're in states like Arizona, Texas, Florida, Kentucky, New York, the Secretary of State requires that you purchase a digital signature certificate from a recognized certificate authority. That's beyond our control. We recommend Adentrust because they have proven to have an excellent customer service department.
Great. And then another question that just came in again, somebody had asked, they heard something about 4,000 types of IDs, in 200 countries. Can you just explain that a little bit more?
Yes. Each country issues their own ID, be it a visa, be it a passport, be it a government-issued ID, such as a driver's license, a work permit, any document that is issued by the government that has an official document that has the picture and the elements associated with that individual on the document, we can verify. What we have done, and it's a great effort, is we know the font, the placement, the holograms, and the various elements that should appear on that document, both front and back. And we will examine that document forensically to make sure that that document includes those features that were specifications from the manufacturer of that ID. So we go directly to who manufactured that ID for that country, and we scrape their technology issues and elements, security issues and elements that should be present in ID when we examine it. Biometric ID, we can send you it's a very involved process that measures the distance between the eyes. Those elements that don't change with age. So that's another element that goes to support the identity verification. And again, 4,000 different IDs in the archive with their technological, operational, and security elements from over 200 different countries. Hopefully that answered the question.
It did, and I'll just add, there's not many RON providers out there that actually have that kind of technology built in. And so, you mentioned earlier that, take a look at that chart and compare and contrast different RON platform providers, and it's a very legitimate question. I mean, I'm here in Florida, right? So we have a lot of foreign nationals, and the ability to scan foreign IDs and passports is critical to success, right? It makes me have the ability, whether to scan IDs and do the ID verification for clients outside the United States, which then opens up the opportunity for these corporate notaries to expand with their clients instead of having them go somewhere and try to get validated or credible witnesses if state allowed. Now they can actually move more towards that digital process. So thanks, Bill.
Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Okay, now the benefits essentially for RON to corporate notaries. Of course, it has the same legal enforceability with the face-to-face transaction. When Virginia promulgated their first rule, they were the first state in 2012. Actually, a friend of mine helped craft that law, Tim Reiniger. And the key element was they redefined personally appeared before me to include virtual presentation. And that was really taken from Black law with regards to court pleadings, where they were done virtually on a webcam. So the definition of personally appeared before was changed. And the other key element was jurisdictional enforcement. The jurisdiction of that rules what can or cannot be done by that notary is determined by their state's rules, their commission. The signer can literally be anywhere. The jurisdiction for enforcement is where the notary is. So a signer can be in Paris, and the enforcement with regards to what can or can't be done would be determined by the notary's jurisdiction, let's say in Florida. Florida notaries are allowed to conduct marriage ceremonies, but Kentucky notaries are not. So the jurisdictional restrictions apply to what the notary can or can't do, but again, the signer can be located anywhere in the world. The other benefit for your clients is going to be the ability to execute on the signer side from just about any device, be it a laptop, a desktop, a cell phone, be it iOS or be it an Android. This allows them the portability and utility to both authenticate because our SMS text message we send out to allow secure access to the site is global. As mentioned earlier, we're in 45 countries, so our text messages can go out to any country, again, regardless of where your client is located, and regardless of whether they're using a computer, a tablet, an iPhone, or an Android phone. We provide with our subscription a utility that allows you to encrypt your documents and send them to us. So as a client, you can send, as an enterprise, you can send your client a link that they would then upload the documents to in an encrypted fashion. So it's encrypted in transit, and it's encrypted on receipt, it's encrypted at rest. So it's a secure way of retrieving documents. It's not necessary to have a Dropbox or other account, which we can also access. But that's part of the value add that we provide for a subscription on a monthly basis. Now, with regards to cost savings of RON, obviously, from an operational standpoint, your clients don't have to drive to your office. Now, this was really enforced and promulgated, unfortunately, through COVID. We probably gained a 3-year curve on implementation of RON through the unfortunate event of COVID, where people could not go to the office. So now large companies have placed the RON process in their disaster recovery plan. They have to now be able to have the ability to respond to and cope with an emergency situation, which is allow them to continue business remotely, and remote online notarization is an element in that disaster recovery plan. So this allows clients to work around their schedule, your client's schedule, and your platform should allow you to have one signer sign in at 8, one at 10, one at 5, one the next day, one the next week. So we accommodate, again, these workflow environments that you see out there in the wet world. We accommodate them electronically through our platform. So again, the utility of the platform that allows you to accommodate your client's schedules. And of course, the last and most obvious one is the reduction in paper. So as you know now, documents are created in electric format. Very few typewriters left out there. So they remain in that electronic through the entire workflow process. This allows them to be negotiated, allows them to be distributed, it allows them to be archived very conveniently. One of the great advantages for corporations in a RON environment when they execute documents that way, or in an e-sign environment when they use our PKI signature search, is that document in and of itself produces unlimited originals that can be vetted as being genuine. So in the old wet world, if you wanted a document authenticated, you had to go back to the notary or a notary, and they had to make a certified copy. They had to copy the document, they had to fill out their journal, they had to sign it, they had to stamp it, and they hand it over to you. So that's an additional time, that's an additional expense that is avoided with the RON environment. Each document produced allows you unlimited originals. The documents are also created in a fashion that reduce errors. So if you prep a document and the signer or you forget to fill it out, you can't proceed without doing that. It will let you know that you forgot to do this or you forgot to do that. So you can't make a mistake with regards to neglecting to fill in an element, a data point, a signature, initial, or upload an exhibit. The other element that is absolutely critical in a RON platform is the ability to make adjustments on the fly in the session. So if you forgot to add an element or forgot to add a date or a signature or an initial or a notary stamp, you must be able to do that live in the session while you're working with your signer. And this is, of course, we accommodate this in our workflow. Once the session is done, you receive what's called a completion report. That is a mini audit trail that identifies where the signer was, their IP address, their geolocation, where the notary was, their IP address, their geolocation, their time zone, when the signer signed, what they signed, the fact that they agreed to conduct electronically. And this mini audit report, it's about 3 pages, is in and of itself tamper-proof. So from an evidentiary standpoint, you have proof of what was done, what was opted in. The complete audit trail is also available, but that's a much longer string. But typically, this completion report gives you all the salient elements to allow you to support a repudiation claim. Okay, Roger, any questions regarding that? I know we've covered a lot, so.
No, Bill, not at this time. Everything looks good. Thank you.
Okay, let's go on to the next slide. Now, specifically, why this helps you build your business? Why is this process important to you? One of the key elements that we offer, and that really distinguishes us from others, is that we don't have our own signing service. You can't call us up and say, "Hey, secured signing, can you notarize this for us?" We don't do that. We are a wholesale or white label source that allows you to brand our platform with your name, your logo, your script, your email domain, so your clients see it as your platform. We support you and you support the market. Turnkey, all the elements that are necessary to complete a compliance session, regardless of your venue, are included with the platform. The ability to record the session, the ability to do any type of ID valuation that your jurisdiction allows is included in the session, the subscription rather. The ability to create your own outbound emails with your own script, your own logo. The ability, once the signer is done, for them to be returned automatically to your website to a page where they can leave a review, a request. You can offer other services. You can upsell at that site. So again, we offer you the tool that you can use to build and protect your business under your name, your look, and your feel. With regards to our e-signature application, our award-winning e-signature utility is incredibly robust. Again, this is where we started business 14 years ago, is in the e-signature market, and are one of the major players in that. And again, as I mentioned at the ABA Tech Conference in Chicago, the ability to add a video confirmation to a signed document proving who was behind the mouse that signed that document at no additional cost was a hit. They thought, why wouldn't I use that? Now you can decide whether you want to or not add that utility, and you can decide if they decline to have it recorded, whether or not you allow them to proceed. Again, there's a tremendous amount of defaults, all of which you control. And you can control it from the admin side for your team, or if you're a small group with 2 or 3 notaries, you can have individual controls that allow you or them to do different things. So this is going to increase the efficiency of your organization. Again, as I mentioned, with our APIs, with our templates, the ability to pre-populate a common form with signature, date, data, element fields, and save that in the archive. Then when you bring that template up, you just say who's supposed to sign it, and it auto-populates. The bulk mail signing feature. We have clients that send out 2, 3, 4, 5,000 emails at a time for HR acknowledgments, for changes in policy and procedure. And we have the ability to do that, send a bulk email out to all your clients with regards to new releases or, again, new changes in your terms and conditions. So this is going to save you a huge amount of time and resources to, again, focus on really what matters, which is growing your business. And the last point that is going to be very critical, and as Ron becomes more and more common, is security. As I showed you, the ability to validate that the document has not been changed, regardless of the number of signings, regardless of the number of notarizations that occurred on that document. And the fact that we are ISO approved, HIPAA approved, NISMO approved, gives you the confidence that what we are offering has been independently audited as a very secure site. So again, you have the confidence that you're using a platform that's secure. It has your name, your look, your feel, and it's incredibly efficient with regards to reducing FTE costs associated with the execution of either e-signature documents or, of course, notarized documents. Roger, what I miss?
Yes, but no, you did a great job as usual. I just want to add something that's really critical to these in-house notaries and corporate notaries is that there are a lot of remote online notary platforms that are popping up everywhere. And this slide really just locks it in around the fact that we have spent the time, the effort, and the money to make sure that we are compliant, that we're ISO 27001, HIPAA compliant, and that we've taken those additional steps for every industry to know that, in fact, that we believe in security. We believe in making sure that we meet the Secretary of State's requirements and all the states that we're in and continue to grow into. And as the new states continue to allow for RON, we are that leader in the industry that's offering those types of protection. So do your research, definitely make sure that any platform you choose certainly meets those requirements, especially specifically requirements in your industry. But overall, we're a 14-year-old company. We're not new at this. And so for that, you should know that we have that skill set again, and that we're here to help you grow your business and protect you through this entire process. So other than that, great job, Bill.
Well, thank you, Roger. One more thing I wanted to mention is our integrations with various verticals, e-vaults, various verticals, associated and affiliated companies. So we have a lot of integrations with those companies that you do business with on a regular basis, companies that execute your documents, archive your documents, collate and distribute your documents. So we have a very robust list of integrations that is also promulgated there on our website. So at this point, I think what we're going to do is I've set up a real quick notarization. I'm not going to go through how you set it up, which I can at the end if we have time and you would like, but just show you briefly what the signer side experience is. I'm going to log in. And typically when I log in, I would now get an SMS text message to my cell phone with a security code that I would then enter that would allow me access. But I've disabled that to make the process go a little bit quicker today. For me as a notary, I'm going to go to my invitations, and I see that I've got an upcoming loan modification I need to sign. Now under actions, it will say either fill and sign, meaning there's data points on the document, or it will say just sign. It's a heads up to the notary that what they have to do or what they're expected to do during the session. So I'm going to now click on there. I'm going to enter the signing room. Okay, I've got a number of cameras on my computer here. Typically in the upper left-hand corner, it would be just a drop down that it says allow use of microphone and camera. Now this pop-up comes up and it lets me know that I'm in a room, but Joe Signer's not. So I don't want to start this meeting yet. Now had Joe Signer had to have gone through a KBA or IDV, this would read pending, meaning they haven't done it yet, or pass, or pass, fail. If they fail, you can reach out to them and maybe assist and or cure the reason for their failure. But let's switch over to the signer side. And I'm going to click on what I would receive as the signer. Now, again, this is the email, which would be your logo, your sign, your messaging. So this is all the script that you put out. What I do recommend, at least that you previously send a link to your client to test their network to make sure they're not behind a firewall that will prevent an AV handshake. Also, send them a video. How do I go through a KBA and IDV if that's the case? And how do I log in and share my screen? These are critical elements in preparing your client. The client can then post a event to their calendar, which would then generate a response to you that they've accepted this. But to sign in, they just simply click to join and enter the security code of 7620. Enter my security code. And I, as the signer, am now going to be asked to share my camera. Again, I'm going to click here, leave it normally in the left, and we just say allow. And the signer at this point would just be able to see the document. They cannot execute anything. So let's go back to the notary side. Now in the notary, I say, Joe's there. So let's start this meeting. Let's get these documents signed and notarized. Now I, as the notary, must share my screen. And you notice the share button is grayed out until they click on the screen or window or tab they actually want to share and click on share. And in a moment, you'll see that here I am in the upper right. And let's now go back to the notary's signer side. And now you see the signer is allowed to join the session. So the signer just simply clicks on join. They will then be able to join in session with the signer. Let me mute my mic so we don't get feedback. Okay, at this point, and my other camera actually is live. It's on the side of my desk here. At this point is when the notary would determine willingness, intent, capacity, and lack of duress. The other point is that if the event required that you capture something such as a picture of a stipulation or an event or a driver's license or a passport, by clicking on a camera, you can grab that picture, even though it's upside down, capture it, frame it so you don't get a picture of the kitchen sink in the background, label it, and save that as part of the collection process. Now that becomes part of the documents that either you or your client could retain, or you could also send a signer if that's appropriate. But to begin the process, it's as simple as clicking on the multi-headed icon. The recording automatically stops, and that's important. If you wanted to pause the recording, you just click pause recording. So at this point, if I had multiple signers, I would determine who's going to sign first. So we're going to let Joe sign the document first, since Joe's the only signer. Let's go back to Joe's side, and this would be asked by your company name goes here to fill and complete this document. This becomes part of the audit trail. They share their screen as the notary must see in real time them actually signing the document. And the platform will automatically take you to the first element, be that a signature, an initial, a data point, a date, and then automatically proceed to the next element. And again, all these actions are recorded in the audit log. Again, the platform is automatically searching for the next field. I'm not nearly that smooth. Assign the document, which includes, by my choice, the date and time it was signed. And in the upper right-hand corner, if I'm done, you'll notice there is a pop-up that says everything has been signed. I want to show you that signature once more. Again, it's printed name of the signer and the date time they signed it. So you saw the green pop-up in the upper right indicating to both the signer and the notary that everything has been completed for that signer upon this document. So now let's return to the notary side. Now let's assume by going to the document, you realize, oh gosh, I forgot to add a signature. No worries. You can go up to this document and you can add your signature, your stamp, the signer's signature, any signer, and any region here with regards to a checkbox, a date, a file upload button. If they had to upload a stipulation during the signing, you could add that to it and they would upload the file. So anything you can do in creation, you can do during a session. And one thing that I didn't show you is the application of the signer side signature, because I've selected, unfortunately, say, sign and save. The signers have the ability, as you saw with me, which I've already done, select a predetermined font. These are our own fonts. These are not commercially available fonts. They can also sign with their mouse. They can upload an actual signature, a rendition of their actual signature, or they can switch to their cell phone and draw on their mouse pad. Certain jurisdictions for certain types of documents require a hand-drawn signature or a representation of the actual signature. So in that we're compliant to all jurisdictions, we had to offer all those options. Okay, now the signer 1 is done. Let's say signer 2 is done. If signer 2 didn't show up, we can reschedule and then just log back in at that time and pick up signer 2. But let's go on to the notary side and allow the notary to sign. Again, same elements with regards to the audit log. Everything is entered into that audit log with regards to permissions and intent. Again, you would brand this with your company name, click on sign, and again, it'll take me down to that spot where I have to put a signature in, which is my notary signature. And I'm going to apply Meet the Notary. And I am now going to apply my stamp. And if there were other subsequent stamps, it would proceed to the next, just as you saw on the signer side. And essentially, we're done. You notice the pop-up on the right side saying everything by everybody has been signed, entered, and completed. So at this time, you could end the signing. And again, when you end it, the platform can port that signer directly back to your website or a URL of your choice to leave a review, upsell something, or whatever you like. So that portion is finished. So one element I did want to show you is a visual ID check. We talked about those 5 elements. And what this brings up is this frame. And this frame will display the front and the back of the ID that was scanned and forensically examined as being genuine, an enlarged picture of the front ID that we use to compare the liveness test and selfie that was taken prior to the session and compare it to the face on the ID biometrically. And then the last frame is a live frame that you saw me in, where you could then ask the signer to hold up their ID to compare it against the ID that was considered to be genuine and the selfie face that was considered to match that ID that is now being held up in session. So you really got 5 touch points. You've got a validated SMS message to a text phone. You've got a knowledge-based authentication if they go through the 5 questions that are managed by the Federal Bridge Act that must be answered in 2 minutes. You have the presentation of an ID that is scanned to be determined as being genuine. You have a biometric match of the face on the ID to the face of the signer. And finally, the 5th and last element, the traditional stare and compare between the signer and the ID that was validated, as well as asking them to hold up the ID. So it's extremely robust and extremely secure. So at this point, we're going to open up the field for any questions. Roger, do we have any questions in the queue, or is anybody?
We do. We do have another one here. And so they're asking, do we offer demonstrations of the platform? And the second part of that is, where do they reach out to us and communicate with us?
Yes, we have running demonstrations every Wednesday at noon West Coast time, 3 o'clock East Coast time, where we set aside an hour to go through the platform, how it works, how you brand it, how you associate it with your own enterprise, how you create your own email domain so that your invites to your clients come out under your name, not secured signing. The best way to contact us is actually through either of our emails, or you can send a request to helpdesk@securedsigning.com, helpdesk@securedsigning.com. And again, if you have an organization and would like to schedule a separate demonstration based on your specific needs, again, reach out to either Roger or I at these email addresses, and we can arrange for that. Well, I see we've got about 6 minutes left in our allotted time. Roger, do we have any other questions that have been entered into the queue?
Let me just read here and see if we've got anything coming in. A lot of people were sending these things in privately. Let me just check here. So somebody was asking here, just a basic question, actually, can you just show the secured signing website and where we can find the pricing?
Oh, absolutely. Everything is on our website. Great point. Let me bring that up. Okay, our website is https://securedsigning.com. Okay, this is our main website, which actually is being updated, what, Roger, in the next 60 days?
Next 60 days, we'll have a new view, new website updated. Yep.
So
exactly.
to get to pricing, let's talk about that first. You click under the pricing, and if you're interested in an e-signature program, that will take you right to that element where you can well, how many users have I got, and how many documents am I going to do a year? Go to click get pricing, and there you are. That would be $80 a month or $960 a year. So let's go back. Again, everything is on the website here. The notary plans. The notary plans start as a single user plan at $9.95 a month. If you want us to archive your recording for 10 years, it's an extra $5 a month. But further down the page, we have our exact line item pricing, everything we charge for. And then further down, we have actually a price estimator. So you could put in, okay, I've got 5 documents that need to be signed and notarized. I've got 5 stamps that need to be applied. There are going to be 2 signers in the session. I don't need any witnesses or guests. It'll take me 30 minutes. Both signers, let's say, have to go through KBA, and that's going to cost me $22.50. And remember, with your subscription at $9.95, your first 10 document uploads are included. So if for $9.95 a month, you can send out 10 documents to be signed, and that's all it's going to cost you. The 11th document only costs you $1.50. And remember, on that e-signature environment, you can add a video confirmation to that. Same $1.50 if it's your 11th document. If it's your 10th, there's no cost. The other thing that I think is important to show on our website is, let's go back to how it works. We have video demonstrations on everything we do. You can start from just the basic how to set up an account, how to sign a document, how to send out documents to be signed, how to fill out a template and create a template for a document that's going to be routinely used over and over, how to do a video signing with e-sign. And again, that's no additional cost. And then on, of course, to the notary, remote online notarization. And then we, of course, have how to apply our smart tags and how to create various notifications to your clients. And of course, the video confirmation in and of itself only for e-signatures. And then document negotiations. You can set up a field whereby your documents can go back and forth between you and a client or you and an associate to be negotiated with a final product that is then sent out to your signer. The other element is our APIs are published on our website. So everything that we do, we make available to you right now. I did want to show you on the notary side our Notary University. And let me go to here. I have to close this out. Yeah. Let me close that out and bring that up again. If you click on pricing, you click on notary plans, that will take you right there to our Notary University. Again, where we have video, e-learning videos that go over everything. You know, how to sign up, you know, how the platform works, how to upload your certificate, you know, how to go through a KBA and IDB. This is often used to be sent out with your invitations. And also through the snapshot feature, the ability to assign a job to a queue of notaries in your organization. We don't know who's going to do it, but it's going to be one of these 15 people. Sends a blast out to all of them that they can accept. You as a manager can administer who's accepted that. It's extremely robust, certainly more robust than we have time to go through today. Roger, other questions?
Oh, that is it for today. We're at that hour. So I just personally want to say thank you everyone for attending today. We will be sending out this information to everybody that attended and those that could not attend today. And we look forward to hearing from you to learn more from how you can utilize secured signing. Well, I'll let you close it out.
All right, again, just to reiterate what Roger said, thanks so much for this. We do have a wealth of experience. We have that wisdom born of pain, so please spare yourself some pain and draw on our knowledge base to assist you in creating your platform, utilizing your platform within your enterprise to a very successful position. Again, thank all of you so much for joining today, and please reach out to us with any questions. Take care. And good day.
Take care.